How are you?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you guys' patience. I had this stream that I was doing, so I was telling Leon here. So I got the stream, and I'm live streaming this right now. So I was trying to get up on YouTube and IG, but it was like more complicated than I thought. But I think I fixed it right now because I think like it says that we're going, so I'm gonna just rock with it, see how we're doing. Worst case, it's not as like low latency as I thought, but whatever. But we'll just get into it. I think we got one more that we're waiting on here.
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
He's on. What's up, bro?
Good, man. Good.
Cool. I think we are good. So yeah, let's get into it, bro. We'll just get into it while we wait for the other guys, and we'll just fire away. So cool. So everybody here is an owner of some school. And so today I really wanted to go over like all things sales, kind of you guys have an understanding of the 6 week challenge, what it is, the program, and then Leon for you kind of going over exactly what is the program, what's involved, how people get the results, how we deliver that, and then we'll go over into some sales stuff too. But real quick, just kind of if you guys aren't familiar with each other, I think you know Leon and Faison, but Rami, I don't know if you guys are familiar with each other, but just kind of quick 1 or 2 sentences, go around the table, who you are, what school you guys own, and your experience. I guess like how long you guys been owning it for. So we'll start off with you, Lee.
Uh, I'm Leon. I own Top Level MMA, and I've been running it myself since like 2018, 2019.
Nice, nice. You've been running yourself this whole time since 2018.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, cool. And what's been your experience with have you done anything like the 6 week program or have you just like what's been your core offer?
Honestly, it's been like pretty basic so far. Just free trial, and something that new that we've been doing is like a paid week trial, which has been pretty good so far for us.
Oh, you just started doing that.
Uh, Probably started at like 6 months ago, but
Okay, nice,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And how's that going? Good?
That was going well for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope, dope, cool. Rami?
What's up, everybody? My name is Rami Dawood. I own Phoenix Sports Empire with my fiance Asha, and we've been around since 2016, so 10 years now.
Nice. And then what's been your core offer, I guess, before switching to the 6 weeks? What was it?
We were doing, we switched from free trials to paid trials because of our semi-private class model, and so we would just do a paid trial and then try to convert all the paid trials to full-time members. So that was basically it before we started working with you.
Okay, cool. And then Mr. Faison.
What's going on, guys? EJ and I own Kaizen Jiu-Jitsu Club. Definitely newer than both you guys. You guys are veterans. We're about 10 months in the game. We've been blessed with great community that we started out there in Huffman Estates, and man, we've in the 10 months we've tried a lot of different things. We've had a great success in terms of like walk-ins and word of mouth. Again, not having any prior jiu-jitsu in that city definitely helped. But once we hit the cap of that, it was time to look for different avenues of bringing students in. And right now we're doing the six week challenge, and that's great. I feel like we really gotten an understanding of how to sell it and how to kind of use it as like a tool to solve the problems that some of these guys are coming in with. And yeah, no, it's great. You know, had a have a great time working with George. Um, right, he's the man. So I'm trying to learn more, but yeah, that's where we're at.
Awesome. And who we got here? We got Andrew's connecting here. Andrew, what's up, bro? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes. How you doing, bro?
Yep, doing good. What's going on?
Awesome, man. Yo, we just went around the table kind of introducing each other, but kind of do a quick 1 or 2 sentences of your introduction, kind of what you do, how long you've been in the game for, and kind of your experience so far with like sales, membership sales, and all that stuff.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Well, I actually work with George, funny enough. I work at Downtown Jiu-Jitsu, and I don't have much experience. I actually just started recently, so this is something I'm kind of trying to pick up and get a little skills in, you know?
Cool, cool. But don't downplay yourself, bro. You've been slinging the sales, man. He's on the come up and he's learning. So I'm
Little by
excited for
little.
him as well. And so cool. So let's get into it. First things first, I want to kind of go over briefly over the 6 week program, what it is, kind of get I know Leon had some questions as far as like diving into it. Everybody here has some experience with it, more or less, but Leon and Andy as well. Like he's gonna be getting into doing the sales for the 6 weeks, so it's gonna be a good just kind of introductory session into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Let me know if you guys can see. All good?
Yep.
Cool. So Leon, what was the main question you had? I know you had you wrote down some questions, but the main question you had as far as like this 6 week program, because this is kind of like something a little bit newer to you, right? Like it's nothing you had direct experience with.
Yeah, I mean, I remember me and you met back in November. We kind of talked about it, but I wonder if there's anything that you've changed since then.
And so, what do you remember from the last time we spoke about it?
Yeah, we talked about a like a consultation,
Hmm.
right? We talked about having like I think you guys had a price at like 800. I wonder if that's still like the same.
Hmm.
And then talked about nutrition support and accountability support. Those are kind of like the main things I.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been the same. We've obviously improved on our systems and things that we've
Mhm.
done as far as like just always improving on things that we can add on to it, add more value, and really just get a better handle for how we give our students the best results, right? And with this, bro, the main thing I want to show you is this is going to be a review for, Rami and Faizan here. But Andy, I know you were asking some questions as well as far as like what the actual, like what's involved in it too. And so I'm going to go through this really quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time on here. But as far as a 6 week program, right, this is our flagship high ticket program that we use to pretty much quadruple the front end cash revenue on the front end, right? But it's a bundle, so it's a program, right? It's not a free week trial, it's not a free day trial, it's not a paid week trial. It's a 6 week program, perfect short term because people are interested in trying it out, getting a feel for it, and 6 weeks is short enough for people to be like, okay, you know what, I don't lose much, but it's long enough for them to actually get like tangible real results. And the 6 weeks, it's going to be anywhere between 5.99 to 9.99 depending on your market. And the way we go about how to actually structure the pricing, right, I say, hey, start off at 5.99, see if your market's grabbing it, you get market fit, cool, then from there increase the price until at a certain point the percentage of closing that you get is below, like if you're dropping to like 25-30%, then you're kind of in that sweet spot of your price range. If you're at like 10% closing and at that price point, then you know that you've gone too high, right? But it's not like a like one and done. It's kind of like multiple reps at that 30% sweet spot. That's good. If you're closing like 60, 70, 80%, bro, like one, you're doing good too, but also that means you can go up a little bit higher, right? And so as far as the actual program, what's included, the actual like the meat and the bones of the structure of the program. So we introduce people into our regular beginners classes, and what I recommend everybody to do is if you have a beginners class, if you have a fundamentals class, throw them into that structure. They're going to be coming into classes 3 times a week, so it's 18 classes over 6 weeks, and they get the classes, they get nutrition guidance. Now the way that we do the nutrition guidance is that we actually structure a guided meal plan for them using core principles that we use, like to get without getting too deep into the weeds, right? Basically, we help them lose fat, we help them get a little bit leaner. If they want to gain weight, we help them gain the weight, but we guide them through that process and then we check in with them, right? So we give them everything they need to actually finally hit their goals, hit their results, especially when it comes tied to fitness. And then on top of that, the accountability, that's also the third pillar in this entire program. And how that's baked in there, the accountability is something that we do. It's a tool to increase retention. It's a retention system, right? And it's cool because as you start to hold these people accountable, hold your students accountable, one, you make sure that they get the results. And two, those little checkpoints that you're doing with them over that period of 6 weeks, you built up so much rapport and just connection with them that by the end of the 6 weeks, their emotions are high. They've hit their goals. They're like, man, like they gotten so many communication touch points from you that the next natural point for them is just like, yo, bro, let's keep doing it. Let's keep it going, right? Let's hit the next milestone. And so that retention system's so strong on the front end that by the end of it, this is why we're able to see, instead of, the average LTV, the amount of time that somebody would normally stay from like 4 to 6 months, we've seen this increase to about 10 to 12 months, sometimes even 24 months still going on. So that's pretty cool here. And then on top of the classes, the nutrition, the accountability support that you get, that you provide to them, you also can give them a uniform, some gear, some boxing gloves. Rami, do you still give out boxing gloves to your students, like when they sign up?
Yeah, I actually I give them boxing gloves, and I found a real cheap wholesale. So I've actually been telling them, hey, I'll cover all your gear except your mouth guard, your jock strap, and your cup, because I get the gear for really, really cheap. So that way they come in and they have gloves, shin pads, ready to go. So that way it doesn't like delay them getting started.
Nice. So yeah, that's something that you can do. If you're at the lower price point, you might not throw it in there for them, right? Because you got to account for the cost per goods sold, right? So you got to account for that. But if you're, say, like the $8.99, $9.99 price point, throwing that in there as like a bonus for them can be used as an incentive for them to, push them over the edge, or just a nice little bonus like, hey man, because you're taking action today, because you're doing this X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna go ahead and hook you up with this. And so one, that's like, you're building some trust with them, they feel good about it. But two, also it's like that you eat it, but it's covered by the amount of price point that you're priced at, right? If you're doing $8.99 for the entire program, you can throw it in there, right? It'll cost you maybe $20 for gloves and $60 for a uniform. So that's something that if you want to throw it in there, you can. Questions so far? Leon or Andy? Is this kind of clear? Andy, I know you were asking about like what's exactly involved. Is this kind of what you were wondering?
Yeah, this is exactly what I was wondering.
Does it make a little bit more sense now?
Yeah, it definitely does.
And Leon, does this make sense for you?
Yeah. This is all
Yeah.
pretty, yeah, stuff I'm kind of already familiar with.
Cool. And so what other questions did you have as far as like the actual program, like what's involved and kind of, anything with this?
Yeah, if you could just like deep dive into like what that's just like the nutrition and the accountability, what that looks like on like a week to week.
The nutrition and the accountability, like what that, like day to day, like
Yeah.
what that actually looks like.
Yeah.
So in terms of this, man, like let's say day to day, you just signed up, right? Typically what I'd like to do is nutrition consultations. I like to do those over Zoom because I can walk them through the same document that I'm walking you guys through, right? I walk them through the entire thing. This way they're getting the information, we're walking through, I can zoom in on stuff, whatever it is. And then after they get the information, right, we go over their certain macros, their certain target hit goals that they need to be hitting on a day-to-day basis. And then your first class, I like to pick that together. So like when I sign them up, hey, let's pick out your first class together. So this way you can get accustomed to coming into your classes, looking at the schedule, and it's building the habit from day one. They come in, they pick in their first class, and then that first class that they're coming in, I don't see like the experience of them actually jumping into classes. I never see that as like as an issue, right? Like I've been to all of you guys' gyms. I've trained with all you guys, and it's always been a good time. And so that's not an issue, right? Like having that magical, wonderful time in the first time, that's gonna be good. After that, now it's just about literally you can do a couple things. One is I text them every other day, sometimes even every day, right? Just to check in on them. And it's literally every morning, put an alarm, So you know, hey, at this time, 10 a.m., I'm texting all my challengers, shoot them a text, how they're doing. There's a series of questions that we send out, see like, based off of their program, based on their progress, like, hey, how's our energy today? What are our 3 days this week? Just kind of things to get the conversation going with them and thinking about continuing to come in. Things that make sure that we're holding them accountable with, right? And then as far as them coming into the classes, we're continuing to check in with them. They come into their classes, and every time that they're in class with us, if we're there, if we're having that connection with them, we're making sure that we're just, increasing that rapport with them, making sure that, hey, really giving them an extra push, make sure that they're really doing the best that they can. And then every week, I tell them on a weekly basis, I want you to send me your weight, right? Because it's tied to the actual their goal or the fitness goal, right? So I tell them, hey man, every Sunday I'm gonna be checking with you, but every Sunday I want you to send me a picture of your scale. So I know that every Sunday at 10 a.m. I'm gonna get a bunch of texts from a bunch of guys send me pictures of themselves on a scale, right? And so that's gonna be another place to hold them accountable with. And then now that's the actual kind of week to week basis over the 6 weeks, right? You're kind of doing that thing along. The nutrition is only in the beginning as far as the actual consultation, right? We only have that in the beginning the first time. And then throughout the time period, as I'm checking in with them, I want to make sure that they're understanding what I've been telling them. I want to make sure that they're understanding like any questions. I always preface it like in our consultation, like anything that pops up, bro, I'm here to help you out. Like as far as whatever you need, like that's what I'm here for. So I want them to feel like supported throughout the entire time. And then that's their duration for the 6 week program. At the midway point, I always like to have kind of like that conversation, a little temperature check. Hey, how we doing? How's everything going? See their experience so far. If they're having a great experience, right? Then that's usually kind of like the first like soft, like, hey, what are you thinking, man? You just want to go ahead and like enroll into the regular monthly membership after the 6 weeks. That's the first touch point to actually have like the next upsell around the midway point. If they're not ready, if they're feeling like, yeah, maybe I want to see, or they're not exactly saying yes, most of the time they'll say, yeah, bro, I'm ready to go. Like, let's keep it going. Cool. Sign them up for your regular monthly. But if they're like, I still want to see, having a good time, you kind of see like where they're at. By the end of the 6 weeks, then that's the second touch point where you have that conversation, kind of like the exit interview, where they're not really like exiting out of the program, but you're just kind of saying, hey, at the end of the 6 weeks, I have a little mini consultation with them, set them aside, I sit down with them and ask them about their experience, how it went overall, everything as far as the program, where they started, where they're at right now, how they hit their goals. And this is a good opportunity to then ask them if they want to continue training with you. If they do, cool. And then around this time, depending on how you structure your promotions, maybe they get like a stripe or something, maybe not, or whatever it is. Maybe you can, figure something out to keep the emotions high. But that's a good time to ask as like a bonus, like for a little testimonial, a little case study, right? Just as a video review. Make sense? Questions on that? No? Is that all kind of like answering all the questions that you had? Anything else when it comes down to specifically the program and how it's structured?
No, dude, that's all pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Anything that you guys want to add on Faizan or Rami as far as like what the timeline looks like, how you guys kind of personally developed your own structure to check in with these guys?
Yeah, if you want to go ahead first.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much followed Jorge's blueprint. I try to check in with them a couple times during the week and let them know that they can hit me up anytime to create like a solid relationship. I let the other coaches know that they're in the 6 week challenge too. So we kind of give them a lot of these guys, they come in with no martial arts background, so they're a little intimidated at first. So just trying to be super welcoming and let them know that they have nothing to worry about. Introduce them to other beginners and other people taking the 6 week program as well has been helpful. And just trying to basically make friends with them, so that way after the 6 weeks, it's almost a no brainer where they're like, okay, I love this, even if it's just for the camaraderie. Most of them have ended up sticking around because they found a new friend group and a new social community.
Awesome. Yeah. How about you,
Yeah,
Faizan?
yeah, no, so I could relate to that as well. Well, the biggest thing for me was when I was kind of learning about the 6 week process, the biggest question I had was, is someone going to pay for this? Right? That's something that I was just battling with in my head. And obviously, we haven't done this before in the past. So it took me some time to kind of, until I started doing the consultations, I didn't really believe that somebody would pay for this, right? Because it was just my ignorance, right? But once I just started doing the consultations, I think it really comes down to you believing what you're doing. I think that that part is like super. That part is the most important part. A lot of the guys that are coming in, they're coming in overweight. They're coming in, for a specific. They're coming in with a specific problem. So it, as we're giving them a solution to that problem, with their services, it was a pretty easy transition to kind of get them over to join. Once they're joining, obviously most of them, aside from a few that just stopped showing up, I would say most of everyone that signed up, I mean, for the 6 week challenge ended up transitioning over. They usually all have a good time, make new friends. They feel like they're a part of something, and that is really the catalyst for them going ahead and signing up for regular membership.
Yeah, right on, bro. Definitely. It's something that, like, if it's your first time doing, especially like for you, Leon, or even Andy, for you, like if it's your first, Andy, you've seen me, rock and roll, do my thing out there, and you've seen it, like you've seen the students come in and you've seen their progress, kind of from the outside looking in. But once you're actually doing it, and it's like having this thing of like, man, like, are people really gonna pay $900 on day one? And you're like, bro, absolutely. Once you get your first PIF, bro, your life changes, right? Like your mindset changes, right? You go from like thinking like, man, like giving regular trial classes, like, hey, bro, it's gonna be 150 a month, 200 a month. They're like, dang. Versus, hey, bro, it's 900, it's 899. Okay, cool. When do we start? Let's do this. That's the cool thing about this, because it filters those type of people through you, and it gets those people coming in, and that gets me excited too, because when people are like pumped to like get this started, I'm pumped to work with them even more. And so for you also, like, I recommend everybody in the beginning too, go through the program, go through the actual 6 week program yourself, because you're going to develop like unbelievable conviction. You're going to actually see exactly why it works, right? So you're going to see all of this, you're going to go through all of this yourself, and you're going to understand, like, kind of get into their mind of like why they're doing this. Because when you get your results yourself in 6 weeks, and then you're like, cool, this worked for me, obviously, right? Like, I've gone through it multiple times, and I'm finishing up my 6 weeks again. Excuse me. And so in the beginning, I'm like, bro, do it yourself, get that conviction. So now you know exactly what they're going through. Now you know what you're putting them through. And so any things, like any hurdles that might come up in their journey, you already know, you've been there. So that's how you teach them. The same way you teach jiu-jitsu, right? Like, hey, bro, don't do that. Hey, bro, don't extend your arms out in somebody's guard, right? Because you're gonna get armbarred. The same way, you know how to tell them that. You wouldn't know that unless you've done that yourself. You messed up and you've actually taught somebody. So that's just something I would recommend. Go through yourself, right? Actually develop that conviction, that confidence, and it's gonna make it easier. Because when you're just talking to somebody just selling regular jiu-jitsu classes, right? Just regular training, like, you're selling it because you believe in it, right? We all believe in what we do here to to the max, right? Because we're a product of it. And so when you actually go through the program, you do it, you believe in it, it's going to be even easier for them to transfer that belief onto them. So that's what I want to go over as far as the 6 weeks. Anything else, Andy? You have any questions, Leon? Anything else on the program? How it's structured? On anything I covered?
No, I actually have a question on like the sales process. Like, I mean, I guess this is kind of like a personal experience question. Besides someone like objecting to money, like how much it costs, what would be like another like frequent objection you might get? Like, I remember one guy came in once and he said, like, I don't want the nutrition, but I want every other part of the 6 weeks. So like, how do you like manage that?
Yeah, so good question too. Like, as far as the first answer, the objections, like what objections are you normally going to get when it comes to this? And in here I have here's our master script for the sales script, and in here I have a section for objection handling. And the objection handling, it's really going to be the same thing in pretty much every industry, but in jiu-jitsu or like martial arts, really it's going to be either for me, what I find the most, and maybe you guys might agree, is like obviously one, money, signs of like, hey, like I got to think about it, or I need to check my budget, whatever it is. That's gonna be the first one. The other one might be like a time objection, which is rare. And the other one might be the spouse partner objection. Those like the main ones that I'm seeing, right? Like I gotta think about it. What do you gotta think about? It's just it's a lot of money. Boom, it's the money part, right? They might be thinking, hey, I gotta talk to my wife about it. I gotta talk to my partner. I gotta see what they think. I gotta ask my parents if they're okay with me doing whatever it is, right? That's the other one. And then the other one's gonna be something like, I don't want this section of the program. I just want to do this. And in the beginning, when we get into stage one, which is discovery and like really understanding their goals, this is kind of where we go through that process of why they don't want the nutrition, right? If they're thinking like, I don't want the nutrition because I want to make it cheaper, it's like, okay, cool. So we know it's about the money. If you say, hey man, like if it's the money thing, like the program itself is cool. Like you mentioned, like you wanted the program, like it's all good. It's like, yeah. So as far as the nutrition, man, you feel like this could actually help you out get to your goals. And they say, yeah, I actually do. So the program's good, right? The nutrition, you feel like it could actually help you. Yeah. So then is it just like the $8.99 in total, or like kind of all at once, or like what's going on there? And then they tell you, yeah, it's just, the $8.99 is all at once is it's a big amount of money for me. So if I take the nutrition off, I think it would make it cheaper for me. And most of the time, that's kind of like the uncovering of their real objection, right? Like asking if it's going to be making cheaper. So there's a couple of things you can do. One is you can go ahead and set them up with like a deposit clause. Like, no worries, bro. Here's what I can do in certain situations like this. If you're feeling like, man, like the $8.99 all at once is a little bit too much out of the question, man, like, let me ask you this. Like, if we find a way to make it a little bit more doable for you, maybe by like introducing like a flexible payment option, would then everything be good to move forward today? And they say, yeah, for sure. Like, I think, yeah, if we could do a payment plan, that would be much easier on me. If they say that, then okay, you know that for sure it's just a payment plan. You can have them pay a 3-pay, a 2-pay, whatever it is, close them. If on the other hand, they say something like, nah, it's just, the everything in total, the $8.99 in total, bro, like even if I put down like a payment today, I think it would just be a little bit tough for me to really just finish be able to pay throughout the whole thing. And so in that case, the beauty of this is no worry, bro. We already anchored high with the program itself, which is $8.99. Now, the beauty of this, we can always downsell them into our regular monthly membership. We can always downsell them to our regular monthly membership. So instead of paying $8.99, no worries, man. I think in your case, you would benefit just the most from just the training itself. It's just going to be $249. They say if they say something about that, no worries, bro. Then you go down to your, depending on how you structure memberships. If it's unlimited, or you have a 2 times a week, if you have like a 1 time a week, whatever it is, you just go down the ladder, right? But knowing that, hey, for sure, if you just do the jiu-jitsu, bro, you're still gonna get all the benefits of everything that we talked about today. It's just $249 instead, just month to month. And they're like, okay, that's much better for me. And then you close them. Make sense, Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. Just like I guess like the answer to my question would be like offering levels, right? If that makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Downselling them. Like there's downsells, there's upsells, right? Depending if you have like a year plan, like, yo, I'm ready to go. I want to do this for like, if you get somebody who's super pumped, every now and then, bro, you can just throw the Hail Mary of like, bro, we actually have this like year offer. You get this, and that, right? You just bake it in there. Like, cool, no worries, man. That's just gonna be, $2K for something. And
Yeah,
then
I guess that'd just be like the vibe of the person, right?
yeah, yeah. If you're feeling like, man, this guy even like worst case, bro, like worst case, if they're like, man, I gotta think about it. Worst case, bro, I just say, no worries, man. Just do the drop-in fee. Try it out. Try a class out. 1 drop-in. At least you get something, right? Get something out of it to kind of liquidate the ad spend. But at least, if they pay even, $35, $40, whatever your mat fee is. If they pay that to come in and actually try it out, they're more likely to be more serious about trying it out. And then you get another at bat to actually be like, hey, bro, so what are you thinking? You want to do it? Because most of the time they're going to love it. They just want to try it. They want to just get their money right. That day they pay 35. You just discount it from their membership start. So that's what I want to cover on the program. Any other questions, guys? Anything else? as far as the 6 weeks. I did want to have like a Q&A session and be respectful for you guys' time. I think we got like 10 minutes here. I know we started a little bit late. So if you guys can stay over, that's cool. If not, let me know where we're at, how we're feeling. Any other questions that's kind of going on in your mind? No? Rami, anything?
Yeah, I like what you said about the interview at the end of the 6 weeks. I had a few people recently when we first started. Almost everybody that did the 6 week program ended up signing up. Recently, I've had guys come in who I could tell were more about like the weight loss and the fitness, and they loved the program. They all expressed interest in signing up, but I could think of 3 people who finished a 6 week program who didn't continue their training. Like one did sign up for a month, never showed up, and I think he just canceled his membership. One guy was like, "Oh, I can't wait to sign up." He was even proactive, asking about the membership, but then he had some financial. He's like, "Oh, I'm waiting on a paycheck," the typical runaround, and then he didn't sign up. Um, so I'm running into more people enjoying the program, like giving it a good review, liking the training, but then not continuing the training after. So, like, what specific tips do you have to retain the student after the 6 weeks?
Yeah, so you're running into people doing the whole thing. After they finish it, they might give you the runaround, or they might say, "Hey, I'm gonna get back to you on this. I'm gonna get back to you on that." And you're kind
Exactly.
of wondering, "Hey, like, how do I get the people to actually upsell, right?" And so, one in the beginning is kind of like fast forward to the beginning. Was there anything different from these people that you noticed as far as kind of like their behavior, like anything with like the payment plan or anything like that? Like, did they piff? Did they have to do small payments, or what was kind of their experience overall? Is there a pattern there?
Good question. Yeah, there is. They were all people who did like payment plans and paid over the course of the 6 weeks, every single one that I'm referring to.
And so usually if they're doing payment plan, like in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, like I know these guys are going to be maybe struggling with money. The financial part's going to be thinking about it. So I want to make sure that that doesn't happen when it comes time to actually upsell them, right? And so a good way to do that, man, is like just creating another offer for them, right? Creating another small offer for them. Like, hey, man, like one midway touch point, third week, kind of see where they're at, see how they're feeling, right? And then kind of you get kind of like a feeler out there, right? Kind of measure distance, see where they're at, see how they're feeling, and see if they're thinking about signing up continually, or if they're thinking like, oh, I'm having a good time, bro, but I don't know if I'll be able to make the whole 6 weeks after this work, like the regular program work. And a good way to do that is just kind of say, hey, man, like, are you live in the program? Like, your regular check-ins. But then at that point, man, so again, man, if you want, bro, like if you're loving it, bro, like what we can do now is like if you just go ahead and just regularly like sign up for the regular membership, our regular membership, what I can do is I can take 10% off, man, and give you that 10% discount so you get grandfathered in, you get locked in, bro, and that way you don't got to worry about it, right? Or throwing like another incentive, man. Like, hey, man, just want to let you know, like, for this month, if you go ahead and sign up now, right, what I can do is I throw in a private for you and then just have that in there as like an added value bonus. And so this way you're just incentivizing them to continue depending on where they're at. You just do a little offer. If they're like kind of getting messages, signals of like, I don't know, like, oh yeah, maybe, haha, or whatever, then okay, for sure, like this is going to be somebody that might not continue. So then think about something else that you can offer, right? But at least that way you have a feeler point, so you're not kind of 6 weeks later, hey, what's up, man? You want to do it or not? And then they're like, I gotta, they give you the whole runaround, right? So I like to have a midway point, small offer if they want it. If not, most of the times though, like most of the times, again, people like as I'm checking with them, like, bro, how you feeling, man? Like we got to our goal, right? Like we're doing good so far. They're like, yeah, man, I'm loving it, bro. I wanna continue. They might even come to you, right? But in the instances like this where they are kind of giving you the runaround, most of the time, bro, it's always about the money, right? It's most of the time because if they've gotten the results, if they, they're having a good time, but they can't afford it, then that's really when it comes down to, right? It's rare that, somebody gets a result, somebody's having a good time, they're coming into the training and they got the money and they're like, no, I don't want to continue. I mean, it's happened to me sometimes before. They're like, yeah, bro, it's cool, but I don't like it. I'm like, all right. It's rare. It happened maybe like once. And I was like, huh, okay. Like, is there anything that we did? Like, no, I just, tried it, didn't like it. Thank you. I was like, okay. But most of the time, bro, like the process that exit interview, kind of like the upselling, it's very smooth. Just pay attention to those signals and maybe think about like a smaller offer that's nothing too crazy, right? That you're willing to do. Like, hey man, if you sign up today, just so you know, we have this going on, you get this or whatever it is.
Makes sense. No, that's helpful. Thank you.
Anything else, guys? Fizan, question, Andy?
Yeah, I do. I have a question on like the nutrition aspect of it. Like,
Yeah.
I think this is more of a question for like Rami and Faizan. Did you guys ever get to like, or have any questions throughout the 6 weeks where someone asked about like, hey, this meal plan or whatever isn't working for me? Like, how do you guys, if you guys have handled like questions during that 6 weeks with nutrition specifically?
I haven't had any issues after the first consultation. I feel like once I break down everything in the material that you're going over, it's pretty straightforward. Everyone pretty much has, well, everyone I spoke to pretty much has kind of done some sort of meal prepping or kind of watch what they eat at some point in their life. So it's not a very foreign concept for them. Yeah, I don't think I've had anybody come back and say, hey, how do I do this or how do I do that? It's pretty straightforward. I noticed some of the guys usually have issues sticking to it, and that's where your check-ins really help them kind of get back in line. I've had guys where they'll completely fall off, but just me checking in kind of just brings them back on track, and then now they're sending me pictures of their meals, their meal preps and all that. So yeah, I haven't had any issues with that. So I don't know if you have, Rami.
No, luckily I have a similar experience as Faizan did. So the meal plan is pretty straightforward. Most people don't have trouble following it, and just knowing that we're going to be checking their weight every week kind of makes sure that they stay accountable. So luckily I haven't. I was worried about that as well. I was thinking about that, like, man, what if someone comes in 3 weeks in and it's like, hey, this isn't working. I haven't had that yet. I've had people ask follow-up questions. I had one student who was a very anxious person, and he would text me anytime he was at the grocery store, hey coach, you think it's okay if I, just really overdoing it. You might run into that, somebody who just really needs like hand to mouth, like info from you all the time. That's what I ran into. And even that was pretty straightforward and easy. But no, I haven't run into anyone saying, hey, this isn't working. What can we do about it? I do tell them when I sell the program that, hey, if something isn't working, we'll revise the program for you. So they feel confident knowing that we're going to make adjustments to make sure that it works. But just like Faizan, I haven't had anybody come back and be like, oh no, this isn't working. What should we do?
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's
Also,
go ahead.
I was saying, also it comes down to like your structure of like kind of how you're talking about the meal, the meal plan. A lot of our guys see, the weight coming off pretty fast, and that kind of motivates them, and then we use that to motivate other people. Like we had a guy, drop 20 pounds in 3 weeks, and these other students are seeing him, and they're just starting off their 6 weeks when this guy's kind of a few weeks into his 6 weeks, and we're pretty vocal about who's doing the challenge at our school, because we make we do the weigh-ins, kind of we make it like a weekly event where the guys are like looking forward to the weigh-ins, and we kind of are able to break down their week based off their weigh-in. If they're close to the weight they were last week, we have a conversation about that. If they're crushing it, we obviously applaud that and kind of get them motivated for the next week ahead. So I think that's been really important to kind of motivate the other students.
Yeah, that's good. Even like just having something where it's like what you're doing there is like building the community within them, right? It's like, hey, they're coming in, you got the accountability from you guys as coaches, but also together, right? Involving them with, letting the people know, like that's a great idea. Letting people, hey, these guys are challengers, letting your coaches know, hey, these guys are challengers, making it a thing at your school, like, hey, like, these guys are doing something for themselves, and it motivates other people because like, man, like that's crazy. You've lost like 10 pounds already, bro. Like, wow, that's so cool, right? Like really pushing each other. Another thing, like a small thing that I do too is I put them all in a group chat. I put us all together in a group chat, And like it's gotten to the point now where like these guys are kind of friends on their own. Like they've done like they're starting to do another challenge within themselves. Like they're starting to do like 75 hard together and kind of like it's pretty cool, right? So it's like, it's becoming like a real like group within the group, which is kind of cool. And so it's just I have them post their progress pics in there too, like yo guys, just to like, motivate them too. And it does motivate them. It's like, bro, like this guy's been locked in, right? He's already down 10 pounds. We joke around, whatever it is. That's something cool that you can add in there as well. And to touch on like as far as your original question, Leon, the nutrition stuff, man, like it's been a very similar experience too. And I haven't had anybody be like, I don't like this or I don't want to do this, because when they sign up, they're mentally like locked in as far as, hey, this is what I'm doing. I signed up for this, and they know like, hey, like this is the game that I want to play. Like I put myself in this, so I got to do the best I can. And then even when I have had some people in the past like come to me, like Rami said, is like they need a little bit more kind of hand to mouth spoon feeding, and that's okay, because that's what we're here for as well. And it's not too much more of a hassle at all, really, because you're like, hey, bro, no worries, man. Like somebody might be completely new and foreign, like the concept of tracking your macros and having a guided meal plan and actually doing this. And so for those people, it's just a matter of like really dumbing it down as simple as possible and just try to help. And most of the time as they get going, like the more you help them on the front end, by the end, they're usually like, cool, they kind of got it down. So it's kind of a cool thing for them to experience and cool thing for you to see as well, because like without you, really, like they would have been like where they first started, versus now they're like actually like they've actually developed the skills of going through this program, of building better habits and ultimately getting the results. And so it's not really like I haven't had anybody at all really come to me like, hey, I don't like this, right? Because I'm like, bro, like you signed up for this, bro. Come on, like what are you doing? Sometimes you can give them a little tough love too, because like, bro, like why are you slacking, bro? Like you did this to yourself. And so also like you preface it in the like kind of set the expectations on the consultation. Hey, bro, like I can do only so much for you. I can give you everything in the world's best plan, the world's best structure. But if you don't put in the work, if you don't meet me halfway, bro, nothing's going to work for you. And they understand that. And that's pretty much the extent of it. Any other questions, guys? How are we on time? We're at 11 a.m. You guys good for another couple questions or anything else?
I gotta dip. I had to go and teach, but this was great, George. Thank you, bro.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for coming through, bro. Appreciate it. Hopefully we provided some value to you and we cleared up some questions that you may have had with this. So definitely looking forward to hearing from you again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Rami, Faizan, Andy, anything, guys?
No, you did a great job answering all my questions. Thank you.
Yeah, nothing for me, man. Thank you for this. Thanks for setting this up.
Yeah, no, this was great. I learned a lot, so no, I appreciate it as well.
Awesome. Cool. So I'll be doing these weekly again. Next week we'll have we'll be able to meet Alberto. He just signed down with us as well. He's got over here in Connecticut, so he'll be joining us as well next week, kind of getting familiar, little introductions, and he'll be kind of in like Andy's and Leon's position where he's just starting out. So you guys, experienced guys, could be be able to help him out throughout that time too. But cool, man. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on. Hopefully I provide some value to you guys. Hopefully for the next time you guys come up with a little bit more questions, and then we'll be ready to go. And by the way, if you guys are nearby, I know you guys are local, right? Leon, Faizan, Rami-ish, right? So this is kind of a side thing, right? At downtown, we're having a SummerSlam open mat, open to all of our affiliates. So that's going to be next Saturday, the 15th at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's going to be cool. We're going to have like a DJ, dessert cart, right? Some vibes, and open mat. If you guys want to come through, definitely can be cool. We have a little raffle drawing as well.
Cool, man. Sounds good.
Cool. Thanks, bro. Thank you for the invite.
Awesome. Cool. So I'll see you guys.
All right, guys.
All right,
See you guys.
Peace.
Peace.
See you.
Bye-bye.